Good morning, traders. Matt Weller here, Global Head of Research with FOREX.com. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of June, 2026. We've had a couple of central bank meetings. We have more news out of Iran, and today's video will have a special look ahead to tomorrow's FOMC meeting. Let's get into everything that you need to know ahead of today's U.S. session. Starting with what has been the most important news of late, it appears that the U.S. is serious about moving toward peace in the Middle East. It has removed its blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, and we've seen a couple of Iranian tankers pass through that key strait. This, again, is just another sign along the path toward peace and optimism for the market. It will take weeks or perhaps months for the Strait of Hormuz to return to its normal full capacity, but this is something that has traders pushing oil prices down to their lowest levels in months, and it appears that the market is ready to move on from this situation and refocus on economic data. Speaking of economic data, we had two key central bank meetings overnight. The Bank of Japan raised interest rates and hinted it might do so again later this year. We haven't seen much of a reaction in the yen, and as expected, the RBA left interest rates unchanged, and we're not seeing a big reaction in the Aussie, but that does put us in a position to look ahead toward Chairman Kevin Warsh's first meeting as the chair of the Federal Reserve. That comes up tomorrow on Wednesday, and crucially, it's one of those quarterly meetings where we'll get new economic forecasts or the summary of economic projections. We're not expecting any change to interest rates really at all this summer, but we will have a lot more insight into what the Federal Reserve is thinking in about 36 hours from when I'm making this recording. The key things I'll be focusing on for this Federal Reserve meeting are whether the easing bias remains in the statement. Recall that last meeting we had 2 or 3 dissents against including that bias. It seems likely that some of the more centrist Fed members have also moved across the fence there and think a more balanced, two-sided statement could be reasonable. We'll also be closely scrutinizing Kevin Warsh's first press conference as chairman, whether he'll hint at things like balance sheet adjustments, interest rates, and crucially, he's implied that he'll make some changes to the Fed's communication policy and essentially have less communication, less forward guidance, perhaps fewer press conferences, fewer Fed speakers around the globe. So we'll continue to monitor that situation. Again, this Fed meeting is not going to be interesting for what the Fed does, but it will set the tone for Chairman Warsh's chairmanship at the head of the Federal Reserve, and that's really where we could see a market reaction. Today's chart of the day is the US dollar index here on a daily chart. Frankly, it's holding up relatively well. Ostensibly, we should be seeing the safe haven bid from the war in Iran fade. However, the dollar's holding up well above previous resistance turn support at 99.50. As long as that level holds, I think there's room for the dollar index to continue to bounce. And then to the top side, the level to watch is the highest price that we've seen in months, closer to 100.50. That's the range to watch as we head into this Fed meeting, and that's the range I'll be watching for a breakout if Kevin Warsh deviates from the script in one way or another. That could give us the next directional move in the US dollar. That is today's video. Thank you for carving a couple minutes out of your day to watch. If I could ask just one favor before you go, please do drop a like on this video. It's a free way to show your support. It helps us with the algorithms and we'll get more eyeballs on this video. Also, if you're not already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel at FOREX.com. Thanks again, and best of luck with your trading today.